Good morning, sir.
How are you today?
I'm good, sir. Thank you.
Maya, you hail from Gavalia,
Yes, sir.
and you have done your BCom in 2022,
Sir, in 2020.
2020. Okay. But I think you have appeared for interview last year also.
Yes, sir. Last year I appeared for interview.
How much were your marks?
Sir, I scored 179.
179. You have any? What do you feel about your last year interview? Are you
Um,
satisfied?
Sir, I think I could have scored better. I was the last one to go in the morning slot, and it was a very short duration. So I thought that there were many more areas which could not be explored. But I think I could have scored better if more questions were asked and more areas were asked.
Okay. Manya, you hail from Madhya Pradesh.
Yes, sir.
Now, Madhya Pradesh is one of important states in India. And once upon a time, it used to be counted as one of the Bimaru states. But of late, it has taken off economically, and social indices are also improving. What do you think? What more can be done to make Madhya Pradesh a leading state in India?
So primarily, the thing is that Madhya Pradesh lacks diversification of economy. It is largely an agrarian state, and being an agrarian state, it is susceptible to the weather conditions, the output that is produced every year. So I believe if there is greater investment in manufacturing and service sector, there would be decreased disguised unemployment, which is rampant if there is an agricultural state. And so secondly, I believe that there is also an issue of gender injustice in Madhya Pradesh. For example, the sex ratio of Madhya Pradesh is quite low, while in the national average is about 1020. In Madhya Pradesh, it is just 970, and in some of the states, it is in 800s. So I believe if the social indicators improve further with respect to women, there would be a more inclusive development which will be done.
Okay. Manya, recently our relations with Canada have been in news. What is the incident which brought us to this stage of relationship, cold relationship between India and Canada?
Sir, the issue Hardeep Singh Nijjar, it was alleged by Canada that some entities from India were involved in his killing. But the issue is that they have not shared any kind of data with us. So India has denied all these allegations as baseless because they haven't shared any for us to identify and to investigate. The difference is that America has told us that it will share with us the details of the issue and they're also sharing with us the intelligence inputs. So there is a credible information into which India is looking. And our Honorable Prime Minister has also said that if there is any breach of law and order by an Indian citizen, we will definitely look into the issue. But we need some basis or some report or some intelligence inputs to look into it.
Changing the topic, Manya, recently Parliament passed a law relating to Election Commission. Can you tell us what was the law passed?
Yes, sir. So it is with alignment of Supreme Court judgment. As per the Supreme Court judgment, it said that Parliament has to enact a law in order to decide how the election commissioners will be appointed. So the Parliament has passed a law in which there will be a selection committee comprising of the Prime Minister, a cabinet minister, and the leader of opposition or the leader of the single largest party in opposition. And they will decide the person to be appointed on the basis of the search committee, which will be headed by the cabinet secretary.
And what was the Supreme Court direction in this regard? Did they suggest something?
So Supreme Court suggested that the committee should comprise of CJI, PM and the leader of opposition. But it was a temporary provision that Supreme Court has suggested, and at the end it has said that it is the prerogative of the parliament only to decide what should be the constitution of the selection committee.
Okay. There is also talk about simultaneous elections in India. The government of India has set up a committee also under the chairmanship of former president. What do you have to say about the proposed simultaneous election? And second, whether simultaneous elections are possible given the present provisions of the Indian Constitution?
So the proposal for simultaneous election has been proposed in order to cut down the expenditure that is involved in the elections currently and the constant mode of election campaigning that goes around, which sometimes leads to policy paralysis as many times the developmental works cannot be suggested when the model code of conduct is in operation. But sir, the issue is that some critics argue that this would lead to the decline in the importance of regional issues and the regional parties, as the national issues and the national party will take over the regional aspects of it. So, and also the accountability of government will be declined because they will be contesting election at one go. So that is one issue that they are suggesting. But sir, in my opinion, it is a good approach, but we have to look at the uh, way it will be implemented. For instance, if there are some by-elections, then how it will be done. If in case there is dissolution of some state assemblies, then how the elections will be held. So we also need some more in-depth consultations about it. For example, Niti Aayog and Law Commission are looking into the matter. And sir, the second question that you
In the present scheme of Constitution?
Sir, I believe that there is a need of amendment, and the constitution also has to undergo certain fundamental changes because the time period of dissolution of Lok Sabha and legislative assemblies under the current constitution is prescribed as 5 years. So we have to look into that matter also.
No, it's prescribed at 5 years. But what prevents if we can have simultaneous election after every 5 years?
Sir, but if in case there is dissolution or there is a no confidence motion that is proposed, then how will the government go forward? And for this, they are suggesting that there should be a constructive vote of confidence simultaneous to any no confidence motion that is proposed. So that is the solution that they are proposing, sir.
Thank you, Manya. I now pass it to Mr. Vijay Kumar.
Thank you, sir.
Manya, in your hobbies section, I saw that you have interest in environment.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me what are different dimensions of environment in your understanding?
Sir, environment to me is our overall surroundings. Whatever environment, like whatever our surroundings, natural surroundings, anthropogenic surroundings, the collection of all of it is environment to me.
Okay. Tell me 3 dimensions of environment which are of concern as on now.
So first is the air pollution. The levels of air pollution is rising on a very large scale. So second is the greenhouse effect or the global warming because the temperatures are rising up considerably. And sir, third is the water pollution.
Okay, right. You have prioritized them. It is a good thing. If suppose you have to add more, what component will that be?
Sir, it would be noise pollution.
What about effluent treatment from industries, the solid waste management, etc.?
Yes, sir. Sir, but they are polluting all the aspects of environment. They are polluting air. They are the noise emissions from industries, and the solid waste management is also not proper. So they are polluting all the spheres, whether it is water, air, or the sound.
Very good. You also mentioned about conducting ceremonies. What parameters you look for while conducting a ceremony?
Sir, I was the master of ceremonies in the college events. Whenever there was an event, I used to host the events. For example, introducing the contestants, engaging the audience while having the sessions, and keeping in mind the demography of the audience. Just trying to understand what is the mood of the audience, how will they be affected by a joke that I will say. I should not hurt anybody's sentiments, and keeping in that in mind, I used to host the ceremonies.
Okay. If you have to sell Gwalior at an international forum, what will you say?
Um, so Gwalior lies in the heart of incredible India. It is known for its heritage, art and architecture, and great history. Madhya Pradesh being the fourth state as per ease of doing business, Gwalior is at the center of it. Gwalior lies in close proximity to Delhi, and it is at the crossroads of all the directions. So it is a very good trade and commerce center. So secondly, Gwalior is a young state. The demographic dividend is very high in Gwalior. And so thirdly, there is a lot of potential which is there because a lot of youth is there in Gwalior, but the opportunities that they are having is outside Gwalior. So whatever investment opportunities that we can have inside Gwalior can really develop it well.
Okay. Now, as a student of sociology, you must be knowing that the caste conflicts are more in India compared to many other nations. Can you explain the reason behind it?
So caste has very deep historic roots in India, and it has been misinterpreted in many ways. The distinguishing factor between jati, varna, and the caste system prevailed by the British administrators have really muddled up the whole issue. And so, secondly, there is politicization of caste in India. That is one issue that keeps the caste issue always in vigor. For example, the recent caste census issue, the socio-economic caste census issue, the reservation issue, all of these keep these issue very alive. So the new identities, the achievement-based identities take a backseat over the ascriptive identities in India.
Okay, last question. If you have to define constitution in two sentences, what those will be?
So constitution is the fundamental law of the land, and it means संविधान in Hindi, which means सबके लिए एक संविधान. So it is an equal law for every citizen of the country.
Okay. Will you not like to think about that the constitution is soul of the nation and it guides the body of the nation, etc., etc.?
Yes, sir, definitely.
Okay.
Our constitution makers have also said it is the soul of India.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Prateek.
Manya, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Manya, the way you have been giving the answer, that is quite impressive. And
Thank you, sir.
tell me one thing, why the students from humanities and commerce background are scoring or appearing lesser for the civil service examination in comparison to the science students, like specifically those who are engineers? What is the main reason behind it?
So the main reason I feel is that the engineering students have this mentality of competitive exams right after 10th standard because they are targeting IIT, JEE and the NEET examinations. So they are into that competitive mindset from a very early young age. So they are into that mindset, and so engineering also because the number of students only in engineering are so much that whatever field they enter into, whether it is CAT examination, whether it is UPSC, by the very virtue of their numbers being so high in every domain they are rising. And sir, secondly, the CSAT factor that has been introduced, it has also improved their numbers because maths has been a difficult spot for humanities students.
Tell me one thing, that in the commerce we read audit, okay? And audit, as you know, is nothing but an exercise which is being done after the fraud has actually happened. So do you really think it is having some sort of like relevance? Because when something has already happened, and then you got to know that some fraud happened, and now you cannot take the money back or you cannot do anything about it. You can only take action on the culprits. And now in the future, again, you will have somebody, who is going to take another way of doing fraud. Don't you think so? Instead of, doing audit, we should make the audit on a recurrent basis is a compulsory one instead of like.
Yes, sir, definitely. I think that the current way of audit is a post facto thing, and there is very little that we can do once the fraud has happened. So, quarterly audits and audits by third parties is much needed in today's time because the financial system of a country is improving. We are linking with the international organizations even more. FDI is coming more. So, we need to have much more robust audit mechanisms so that there are lesser scams.
Okay. So tell me, do you think that the way the CAG office is working in our country currently under Article 148 of the Constitution of India, we need to make them more proactive in terms of finding the fraud and whatever corruption and whatever mismanagement we have at the audit level that needs to be taken care of by the government by providing a holistic reforms in the audit thing?
Yes, sir, definitely there is a dire need of it because, as I said, there is a greater private sector participation. And to look at the collusive corruption that is happening between the public and the private sector, there is much more need of a proactive CAG. And the ways the newer audits are coming, for example, forensic audits and the other audits, are much needed.
Okay, tell me one thing, the kind of inefficiencies we people are seeing in the working of the government servants because of the security of job. What do you think that do government of India or should government of India start recruiting these civil servants, and the other people at the group D level on a contractual basis, and in case if they will perform well, then after that we are going to make them permanent in the job, like as you have seen in case of the army also that we have an 𝐓𝐢𝐦𝐿 scheme where we're not going to recruit all the people, only 25%, or even if it is required to recruit more, we'll recruit more. So don't you think so? What is your take? Like, do we need to initiate a contractual period of 5 or 10 years, and then after that, on the basis of performance, we should go for the permanent hiring, or we should extend the tenure further?
So we should have a healthy mix of both because the thing is that policy making is not a very short term thing. So we do need people who are in the service
No,
for
no.
a
Because policy making is something which is not being done by the junior officers.
yes, sir.
Also know that when you be part of the civil service, it's not like that within 5 years, 6 years, you start making policies for the state government or city government. When you become, when you will reach to the top level of administration, then you're going to make the policies. So it's not like that. The point is what those who are efficient, those who are good, they will be kind of continuing in the service for the 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, or even in the time, till the time of retirement. So is it not like that we should go for the contractual recruitment?
Yes, sir, it is definitely a good idea because it is a performance-based incentive kind of thing, and human mind works on the principle of pain and pleasure. So, if you know that your performance is going to be rewarded, then the working capacity, the productivity will definitely improve. And we are taking such reforms. For example, compulsory retirement in case of IRS officers was there. So, I believe that it will be a good approach.
Okay, okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Continuation.
Manya, to tell you, to summarize the way you have performed, I think you are a very good candidate.
Thank
And
you,
I'm
sir.
sure if you have done well in written examination, you should be able to make it. Your answers are, you're answering precisely to the point. The only one suggestion I have from my side, feel little more relaxed. I'm not
Okay,
saying
sir.
that you are tense. I'm not saying that you are tense, but feel little bit more relaxed. I think that will add to your personality. And my advice would be that keep reading the current affairs. You already know, you have shown the knowledge of issues which are currently news. When is your interview?
Sir, on 19th of Jan, next week.
Oh, next week. So you have a short time, but keep reading what is happening. A lot of things are happening. A lot of things are happened, like Bilkis Bano, then
Yes, sir.
various judgments by Supreme Court, whether it is Election Commission or it is different. Then Ayodhya Temple is in news, so you should know something about definite, very clearly about your state of Madhya Pradesh, your city of Gwalior, all those things you should know, and current affairs as regards India as well as India's foreign policy, and the general things happening all over the world, major things. So you keep reading that, and that should help you, and you should be able to do very well.
Thank you, sir.
Manya, there is one observation which I can make about you. Your facial expression and eye movement displays that you are a very curious, person, which of course is a positive point. That is why I am telling you. And your answering, of course, was very good,
Thank you, sir.
precise, no beating around the bush, etc., etc. But can you tell me 3 states where the sex ratio is more than 1030?
Sir, in Chhattisgarh it is 1015. I am aware of Chhattisgarh because I was comparing the data of Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. Other than that, I will have to read.
Because I am asking this because of one reason, that you said national average is 1020. So be clear on that, whether it is correct or not. Okay.
Sir,
Because
as per
I have some doubts about national average being 1020. You may be right, but just confirm it once.
I will read it once again, sir.
Okay. And rest, of course, your answers are, time bound, sticking to the time limits which are expected in such an interview. Content wise also it is very good. But as Mr. Navneet said, that current affairs, read a little more in detail about Ram Temple, because you will be appearing for interview closer to the date
Yes,
when
sir.
the installation will be done.
Yes, sir.
So maybe you may expect some question on that. Rest is all, be relaxed, be confident. Okay. All the
Yes,
best
sir.
to you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Don't be overconfident with the words, because I am also from commerce background and I've taken interviews for several commerce students. Okay, and very rarely I found the candidates are having a very good amount of knowledge. Normally they have the knowledge of commerce, and when it comes to the opinion and the other, they that great. But seriously, after listening to your answer, you're quite balanced. Okay, and I'm pretty sure this year you're going to score even more.
Thank you, sir.
And we will love to see your name in the final selection.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I wanted to ask one thing. Am I speaking too fast or the speed is okay?
See,
No, I think
you cannot change within a day or something, because अगर आप कोशिश करेंगे ना उस चीज को चेंज करने की अभी, तो कहीं ना कहीं पे आपकी आंसर्स की क्वालिटी और क्वालिटी.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
so. Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time, sir. Thank you,
you.
sir.